Hey, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of The Shallow End. You will see there Greg D, known on Instagram as Paper and Chrome. Greg, welcome back to The Shallow End. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks, Dave, for having me.
It's great to see you. Here's what we're doing today. We're gonna hand the steering wheel over to Greg for a lot of this, and I'm gonna be here like a traffic cop, just kind of making sure everybody's going in the right direction. We're talking about a player that Greg and I share an affinity for, and that is the machine, Albert Pujols. And we'll let Greg explain exactly what he did. But essentially, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about Pujols's best rookie cards. Now, what does best mean? We'll let Greg explain what that means, because there are so many rookie cards out there that it can be really confusing. And what Greg did is find a way to kind of clarify that for people who maybe want to either move into the Pujols space or move up through the Pujols space. And so for the next however long that we're talking Pujols cards here, we're going to be focused almost entirely just on the rookies. So really excited to try something a little bit different. Greg, tell us what you did.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of these Pujols cards, rookie cards, and if you're looking to find out, like, well, which card should I target? Well, what I did when I got back into the hobby was I, did a search on Google, and there's tons of lists by a lot of the major, the usual suspects, and they are unsatisfying. They list them by the most expensive, some by the rarest. And I looked at this list, and none of these ones most of the ones they were suggesting were just not interesting. They don't mention the parallels. They don't rank the parallels. It's just not useful for a collector. And so what I decided to do was I ran a survey with Pujols collectors, and to ask them what are their top 5 rookie cards. What are Pujols's top 5 rookie cards in their opinion? That's it. No rules. Just rank them 1 through 5. And I think that the results showed a clear consensus for what the top 5 were. And what I did, though, I should say that I did weight their responses. So, number 1 was weighted higher than number 5. And then I totaled up all those points. But there was a clear consensus on the top 5. And the interesting thing is that after the top 5, like if you just look at what the points are for the others that didn't make the top 5 amongst all the selections, there is a massive drop off after the top 5. And so I feel pretty confident that if I expanded this to like 1,000 Pujols collectors, we would get a fairly similar list, if not the same list, given that trend. And we can talk about why that is.
So to be clear, for those who are interested in following along, this is not Greg and Dave just arbitrarily throwing out their list of the top Pujols cards. Greg surveyed 50, which is no small amount, 50 either hardcore or, should we say, recreational Pujols collectors. And the numbers that you're going to see are pulled and collected from them. This is not just a couple of guys sitting around having beers and wings and talking about their favorites. This is quantitative.
Yeah, and I reached out on Facebook and Instagram to get these collectors.
All right, very good. So tell us now what you are ready to do. Should we start going through the list, or is there anything else you'd like to talk through first?
Yeah, let's just go through the list, and let's start at the top.
Okay, so we'll start with number 1, and I think when you all see the card that's about to pop up, no one's going to be shocked. No one's going to fall off their stools. I think we know what number 1 is likely going to be, so here we go. Okay. Greg, which card is this?
Yes, there it is in all of its glory. The 2001 Bowman Chrome Pujols auto, and it's out of 500. And this is just, a famous, iconic card in its own right. It started the Bowman Chrome auto craze and its dominance as like the primary go-to card for a player's first card. And, it's stunning. It's a refractor. It's just an amazing card. So there was almost universal consensus on this as the best card. I will say though, if folks are actually going after this card, I would say there's one downside to this card, and that is the autos. Now, this is a very nice, bold auto. And just from, my looking at these, on Instagram and just Google, Card Ladder, etc., the great autos are few and far between. There are a lot of streaky, faded autos on this card. And so those, I think, lose a bit of, I don't know, a bit of charm, maybe less attractive. But I mean, obviously, some people still want them. They still sell for a significant amount. One of them actually was wiped and re-signed by Pujols at a later date in a bit of controversy. So, be aware of that. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything more to say about this card. Amazing card, and obviously, no surprise.
Right. And to really put a point on what you're talking about with the auto and how it can fade, if you want to get a low end one, the low end most of the time is because of the quality of the auto. But that could still run a few $1,000s, $3,000 to $4,000. And that's even if, say, just the A and the P is even visible at this point. If you want to get a really good auto, it's going to be 5 figures for sure.
Yeah. And actually, just with the Pujols autos in general for that year, they're just in general a lot of streaky, faded autos. I feel like, maybe for that decade, they were, being shown in dealers' cases, or people were displaying them. Maybe that's, probably still going on. And the light is just, death to these autos. And, people have got to protect them with some kind of, slab mag or something over the graded card to keep that auto nice.
All right. So let's now move on to number 2 on the rankings. Beautiful card. What is this?
Beautiful card. Absolutely amazing. This card, before I talk about this card, I want to talk about the 2001 Topps Chrome set. All right. In that set.
Real quick, though, because some people will be listening to this, just say what the card is first and then go circle back and say.
Oh, yeah, sure. Good point. This is the 2001 Topps Chrome Retrofractor, as it's called by the grading companies. Okay. It's actually known on the back, it says the rainbow hollow foil. And it's also known as the gold hollow foil, is what a lot of collectors will call it, or just the hollow foil.
All right. So let's hear about the set now.
Yeah. And so the set featured these retrofractors that had a refractor finish on the front and sort of the classic paper on the back.
It was actually the back of them was also the first year of Heritage. So the back is Heritage stock and the front is the chrome or foils front.
Yes, exactly. And these were like the refractor finish. Now you can see that this one is actually does not have the refractor finish. And they came out in Series 1 and Series 2. This came out in Series 2 late. It was supposed to be Ichiro with the refractor finish, but there were some licensing issues. And so at the last minute, they had to pull it. And so they decided to throw Pujols in his place, which is funny because there's another connection there between Ichiro and Pujols. And they, instead of the refractor finish, they did this sort of hollow foil finish in its place. And you can see it says late edition under the top right-hand corner. And so it's a bit different. And there is so I should say that there is another one of these, another Pujols retrofractor that came out in Topps Chrome traded, and it is a refractor, but it has the traditional sea green border and, or teal, I guess, teal border. And we'll talk about that in a bit, but there is a big debate. I think this is probably the biggest debate for Pujols collectors is which do they prefer, the Topps Chrome holofoil, gold holofoil, or the Topps Chrome traded retrofractor. And this is actually one of the key things that I was wanting to find out in this survey. And the retrofractor, or this gold holofoil, came out clearly ahead of the traded teal retrofractor.
I think part of it is that the hobby, speaking generally, has such a soft spot for gold, right? And through the 2000s, Topps was all over the place with it until they finally landed on gold out of 50. So I think that might be one reason why the gold just ranks so much higher, plus the lore that you discussed behind it.
Yeah, I think that it came out first. So, folks who are really into the true rookie designation, it might prefer it for that reason. The gold is timeless and classic, as you said. The other thing is that in the Topps Chrome traded set, there was a gold paper as well. And that also, though, still has the teal border inside of it. So this is really the only true gold Pujols rookie. And as opposed to the retrofractor in the traded set, the teal green, which was out of 500, this is about 300. There's no exact numbering on it, but the hobby has done the calculations and it's considered around 300. And if you look at the pop counts, universal pop counts, this one is, far less graded. It's much more rare. And I think that also adds to its desirability. For me, this is my favorite Pujols card. This is the one.
You own one, correct?
I did. And maybe after we're done, I'll pull it out and show it, reveal it for the first time. I traded a lot, sold a lot of big cards to get this one, but it is the crown jewel in my collection now. Very, very happy with it.
We could do an entire separate episode just on 2001 Topps Chrome, which is one of my favorite. It's interesting. Some people may know, some might not know that Series 1 Chrome and traded Chrome are just both that sea green color, and Series 2 for the retrofractors are the only one that got the gold. So if this card had been only in update or traded, or it had been only in Series 1, we would not have had the gold.
Exactly.
All right, so should we move on to the third one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, moving on to number 3, as the Pujols voters have spoken. The aforementioned sea green retrofractor.
Yeah, and one of the folks who chose this one. So I should say that this one appeared in a lot of lists. Even folks who chose the gold holofoil would choose this one. They would just choose it later in their selections. But the most common number 2 selection was the gold holofoil. The folks who chose this one, and just from chatting with collectors who like this one better, that it should be noted that gold holofoil doesn't have like a stark, brilliant finish to it. There's a kind of a faded, I don't know how to describe it, but it's the holofoil kind of dominates the appearance. Whereas this retrofractor really makes Pujols pop. And so that's a cool thing about this retrofractor. Is it the shine and the, Pujols really stands out. I think that the teal green, some folks can get over that. Others, aren't as fond of that color.
That's me. I'm not a fan of this. That's why I love Series 2 retrofractors so much with the gold. Interestingly, too, is this was until the modern incarnation of what a retrofractor is, which are like the Bowman. Well, they'll reprint, old Hall of Famers. The following year, 2002, they went to gold refractors. They didn't call gold; it was just refractors, and then they officially renamed them gold refractors in 2003, which might explain why the printing on these looks a little bit different, because they didn't continue to print them this way.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Um, but I would say that, this is still a great card. And, seeing it number 3 is, like makes a lot of sense. And a lot of Pujols collectors target both of them. Just because why not? They're both amazing cards. And again, this one is out of 500.
Oh, I did not know that.
I mean, it's not numbered, but the print run is 500.
Okay, very good. Should we move on, or anything else to say about this one?
I think let's do it.
Okay, moving on to number 4. Go ahead.
So, Topps Traded Gold out of 2001. This is the first of the paper golds that are numbered out of the years, and it is numbered. And for that reason, it is a very sought after Pujols rookie. It's more affordable than the retrofractors. It's more available. But honestly, it's like if you get it in a good grade, they still command a decent amount of money to pick one of these up that's graded. Yeah, it's a great card. I'd say I would say 2 things. One is that it should be noted, and I don't know if you can totally see it here, but the gold border is kind of textured on this one. It has like a textured look to it. And then the other thing that stands out is just the teal green in the center that, again, it's compared to the hollow foil. I think the hollow foil is definitely preferable, but this one is still nice. And the teal green does connect it to the rest of the series as well.
And here you can really see the texture that you were talking about on the side.
Yeah, there you go. And it was very common. This was like on so many lists. I think it's well known. And I think that the fact that the top it was at number 2, 3, and 4 are the same. Basically, they're parallels to some degree, right? They're the same image from the flagship set. Really establish that card as like the main Pujols card because of that. And I think that it's also sort of a turning point for Topps as well. I mean, look, coming into this and just looking at the 90s and how amazing the 90s was, there's a lot of different cards. And how often do Topps cards come into like collectors like these are the cards that I want of this player in the 90s? Like how often do Topps come up there? Sometimes, but there's a lot of other brands. And I think this is sort of the beginning of the new decade where Topps regains its dominance and just becomes basically it's the card. Like each year of the 2010 or 2000s to 2010 and then beyond actually, once they get the license, but becomes like the card for that player. But I think this is the sort of the first year for that.
Yeah. Good. All right. So now with the number 5, we are moving away from Topps.
Another beauty. Yeah, this one is great. The 2001 SP Authentic out of 1250. Yeah, this one is really, really striking. And also highly desirable. Not surprised to see it in the top 5.
I have owned a PSA version of this, PSA 8 version, the same version. I've owned it twice, and both times have moved it. And it's beautiful. I could see myself owning it again at some point.
Yeah, and it's those are the top 5 right there. I mean, this clearly makes a lot of sense. Just a stark image. It's a nice design. SP, classic, well-established brand, sought after for collectors. So yeah, it's a great card.
It's one of the very few numbered base cards. So the 1250 is not a parallel, right? The 1250 is the base card. There's no version of this card that is not numbered. It has the beautiful starburst behind it. It has the Future Watch, which now is associated, of course, with hockey, but it's it's the SP brand as well, and it's got that wonderful rookie vertically spelled down the side. it's almost a precursor to the blank slate now that that Panini does, but just much classier in my opinion. It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, and there is one parallel of this out of 50, and the only difference is that it just says like limited above the numbering, and the numbering's in gold, and then the SP Authentic on the right there in the middle is also in kind of a gold color.
Mhm.
And that did appear on I think maybe one or two selections. But I think the problem with it though is it looks so much like this. It's so the difference between the two is so subtle. And is it really worth the chase and the money to get that card?
Thousands more for a lower serial number. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that's, maybe a miss on this one if they wanted to create like a really go-to card that may have scored high, but it just it didn't, it didn't, because like why would you do that? Like this card is amazing and it's out of 1250, and so it's more available.
Right. Okay. Moving on now to number 6. So the top 5, maybe we just want to pause here for a minute and just reestablish that the top 5 were solid, right? There was no dispute between 5 and 6. The top 5 get to live in the special clubhouse, and 6 down below, they, might get to visit from time to time, but the top 5 are the top 5. So now we're going to move on to number 6, and this is where it becomes fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 6.
Yeah, and so like you're saying, like there's so many Pujols rookie cards, and there's lots of numbered cards, and there's lots of autos, but none of them really kind of stand out amongst others. And so, this you get a lot of diffusion of votes.
So this is the 2001 SPX Auto out of 1500, right?
Yes, I believe so. Is it out? Yeah, out of 1500 it says, yeah. But this suffers from that, I think. It does have an on-card auto, which is great. But you do get a lot of streaky autos on this one, from what I've seen. But the design's pretty cool. I mean, I like it.
I love his pose. I love the pose. He's crushing it. He's preparing for what he's going to do to Brad Lidge a few years from now, to just launch destroying him in the playoffs. What I always found a little bit weird about this card is that even though it's on card auto, to me it always looks like an in-person auto. It's kind of just thrown on there in an odd spot, and they could have instructed him to do it just a little bit lower. I think that would have helped. But I love this card. I would not be sad if this card was part of my collection. I think if you can't get the Bowman Chrome auto that's ranked number 1, I think you could do a lot worse than landing this auto for your collection.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice, and it's out of 1500. Maybe if it was a lower number, maybe it would have pushed it higher. But it's still in the top 10.
Very good. All right, moving along to number 7. Oh, I love this. This is the 2001 Ultimate Collection Pujols out of 250. And there is one right now that I'm trying to pry away from someone, and they are having none of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, out of 250, it's for me, it's okay. I'm not sure about the running shot. Pujols is known for his bat. And so maybe if it was a bat, I mean, I know there's a lot of bad shots, but maybe that might have made it a bit more sought after. But it is nice. I mean, I would say the other thing is that it's surprising for this set, given that all these refractor and shiny cards from the 90s, how few of Pujols cards there are that have that. And maybe if this was one of these shiny cards, maybe it would stand out more.
I think what I like about this one is, purple historically is the color of royalty, right? And this purple is just so vibrant. This card looks rich and it looks classy. I don't mind that he's running. It's just a little bit different. You have the nice little upper deck logo in the top right, the gold down the side. It actually says rookie. So many of his rookies, weirdly, the ones like we're not talking about today, but oddly either don't say it at all or it's hidden somewhere on the back of the card. I like the rookie to be indicated on the front of the card. This one does. It says 2001 rookie. It has the Cardinals logo right there on the right in a nice little spot. Maybe not necessary with the iconic birds on the bat of his jersey right there, but that's just part of the design. So what can you do? I just think this is a really sharp design.
Have you seen it in person?
I have not, but I figure if it looks this good, if the photography looks this good, I assume it will be.
Yeah, nice. It looks like that purple really pops, and I bet it would look great in person.
Yeah, I think that if I come across this card at the National, I might just throw a wad of cash at the dealer, and then just be done with it at that point.
Nice.
So this was 7, right? I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Moving along to number 8. Tell us what this is.
Yes. The 2001 Bowman's Best Albert Pujols out of 2,999, which is a really interesting numbering to go for. And like the SP Authentic, that is the base on it. That's for the base cards. There's no other parallel to this. And they're all refractors as well. And I've seen this in person, and they really do pop. I mean, this to me is an amazing card. I love this card, and the design is really, I don't know, it's interesting. It kind of, for me, it screams 90s still. It's still kind of hanging on to that legacy. I think that it would be a lot higher if, Bowman's Best had done like another out of 90 or out of 100, like a atomic refractor version of this. I think that would maybe propel it to be more desirable, but it is available. It's nice. It's a great card to have in any Pujols collection.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a nice image. It looks like it's either spring training, perhaps, with that jersey that he's wearing, in which that picture was taken. Obviously he wasn't playing in 2000 up in the majors, and it doesn't look like a minor league uniform. So probably from spring training, based on when Bowman's Best typically comes out. And like you said, a really odd numbering, 2,999, which was back in this era from, say, the mid to late 90s through around 2001, 2002. Card companies were not above putting really high serial numbers on cards. And then gradually they realized that made them less desirable, I think, and then started to shrink the numbers down. But yeah, it's a nice picture. And I think that you're right. An atomic, number to 99 or something like that would be, might push, top 5 or 6 if it existed.
Yeah. I certainly think so, especially with the legacy of the Bowman's Best Atomics. I do think that the 999, it is helpful to know the print run. Actually, I think it would be helpful, and a lot of collectors would love to know the print runs of some of their favorite sets.
So now we move on to number 9, and number 9 is a brand that if Pujols had been active around 97, 98, 99, this card would be out of reach for so many people because of what it would cost. But when you see what it is and you know what happened and how it sort of fell out of favor as the millennium turned, you'll understand what we're talking about. And so number 9 on this list is this one. And Greg, why don't you tell us what card this is?
Yeah, this is the 2001 EX Albert Pujols out of 499. And kind of like you were saying, it's probably one of these cards that represents, like, again, like many others, the end of the 90s and the beginning of a new decade. The 90s are just over with this card. I mean, it's fine. But it doesn't have that EX, I don't know, attraction, demand that the 90s had.
The EX come the early 2000s. The essential credentials come early 2000s. It was kind of like Poison putting out an album after Nirvana had already debuted at this point, right?
That's a great analogy.
They were there, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah. But it's on the radar. People know about it. It's not a terrible card.
Tim
as well.
Fielding, which is a nice change.
Yeah. Yeah. It's acceptable.
I was looking at some card the other day. I can't remember which one that it was. But seeing him wear the glove now, it clicked because the card described him as having a rocket arm. He was a rookie, and of course they knew what his bat was going to be. But they also said, "Oh, he can play outfield, he can play third, he can play first, because he's got a rocket arm." And so it wasn't out of the realm of being reasonable that a rookie card would show him throwing the ball based on how he was projected to.
Well, he was in the outfield. They threw him in the outfield.
Yeah. Good. All right. The next card is going to represent my hottest take of this episode. So let's just get into it. This is the 2001 Topps Chrome traded Ichiro Albert Pujols 2001 Topps Rookies of the Year Retrofractor. I want you to talk a little bit about this card, and then I will inject some insanity into this discussion after you talk it up a little bit.
Yeah, obviously this card had a Topps Chrome base, and there's a Topps base of this card, and there's a Topps Gold, but the Retrofractor stands out because it's got the shine on it. And I mean, this card's amazing. What else do you need to say? It's got Ichiro and Pujols. How often do you get two Rookies of the Year on the same card that go on to become Hall of Famers and iconic players, from their playing days? It's the fact that they're on the same card, and there's a lot of connections. You'll see them in other sets later on, connected as well, on the same card. And it's just a beautiful card. I love it. And I kind of wish it was higher. I should say this though, obviously there's the folks who have the hardcore list of like, what is a rookie card? And they say, well, why was this in this list? This is not a rookie card. This is, this is like a, insert into the set. It's not a true rookie. I would say this: one, I didn't put any constraints on it, on the selection. So this is just what collectors are going after. And, for me, this would be a rookie card for me. I don't have the strict, but I should say this: even Victor, the rookie card specialist, he did a video on this. He was one of the first people I asked this question, and he did a whole video on it, on his top 5, which is a great video. If folks have not seen it, you should check it out. But Victor, he acknowledges that this is not a true rookie card, but it's on his top 5. He loves it. That's great.
Love to see that. All right. I wish I had voted. If I can go back and revote, I would put this card third overall. Right? There's no doubt the Bowman Chrome is number 1. There's no doubt that the gold rainbow foil is number 2. This, if you bring in sports cards and expand it beyond just baseball cards, this is the greatest dual rookie card since the 1980 Magic Johnson Larry Bird Topps card that has Dr. J on this as well, right? In which that one has 3 Hall of Famers. Of course, Dr. J was not a rookie at that point, but Magic and Larry were. This is the greatest baseball dual rookie card ever. And there's some recency bias, which is hard because it's part of this millennium. But I thought about whether or not I was going to say that out loud. I started tracing back where, and there are some other ones that are pretty strong, certainly. But you have here one player with 3,000 hits in the major leagues and more hits than any professional baseball player ever on the left side of this card. A two first ballot Hall of Famers. And on the right side, you have one of just a handful of people to hit 700 home runs, 2 World Series championships. It's Pujols, right?
Yeah.
I don't think, I think if we could fast forward time and look back from the year 2060 and have another 3.5 to 4 decades of space, we'd say, yes, this is the greatest dual rookie card ever made for baseball players.
Yeah, I agree. I had this at number 5. I love this card, and I do hope to own it someday. It's on my save search. I'm not sure when I'll make that move, but it's certainly one I want to add.
Yep. Good. So if anybody does disagree, hey, please reach out. I'll give you Greg's phone number. And
yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the comments.
Okay. Moving on now to the next one. There are 4 more here. Which one is this, Greg?
This is the 2001 SP Authentic Chirography, and I actually like this card a lot. I'm always looking at a Pujols auto card to go after, and this one is just always on my list. I almost picked one up at last year's National. They had one for a great price, but I went after other fish. The one thing I do like about this card is the autos are great on this card. You can find a lot of great autos. And so if you're looking for a good Pujols auto that's not streaky, you can find some nice bold ones on the chirography. Again, I think it pairs wonderfully with the SP Authentic out of 1250. You get both those together. Wow. That's a pair.
It does. And I've noticed the commonality between those two is their use of white space on both those. They don't feel the urge to cram something onto every corner of that card. They just let the images speak for itself. Great. It's a great card. Great card.
Yeah, and actually that's a good point. The design is the same, like the red lettering on the side with the SP Authentic in the center and the minimalism. Yeah, it's a fantastic card.
All right. Next. Yeah.
This is a fun one. It's funny because, like, when in discussions with other Pujols collectors, I just hear them chuckling when I even bring this one up. Top stars. It's like, what is this set? So again, maybe this is a one-off. It's some small set. The reason that I wanted to talk about it, though, is that it does represent kind of this issue where it's not a bad card, actually. I don't think it's a bad card. It kind of has a Topps Finest design look to it, maybe from one year. But then they have 3 versions of this card: the base card, then there's a gold, and then there's an onyx. And I can't remember what the gold is out of. It's obviously numbered, and then the onyx is out of 99.
This is the onyx right here.
This is the onyx. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the others don't look that different. Again, it's just the tops and, this print at the bottom, this like star thing where it's next to Albert Pujols' name, and it's in a different, I don't know, color. And again, those minor changes really don't do anything for me.
I hate this card. I hate this card. It offends me that it exists. It's like they use clip art in the back for the star, and then just made some parallels because they felt like making parallels. This would be Topps Big League if Topps Big League existed back then.
Yeah, this is to me is like there's a lot of limited Pujols cards. There's a lot of numbered cards. There's a lot of cards that are a lot rarer than the ones we talked about in this top 10. But I don't know. They really don't stand out. And again, this out of 99 just to me is emblematic of a lot of them.
I would like you to release the names of everybody who actually voted for this card.
Yeah,
and they should then have to sell all their Albert Pujols cards to make up for their transgressions.
Maybe it's only the completists who go after this one.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, moving on. 2 more. An auto still making the list. And actually, this is technically the next one. I think the next ones are confusing. The next 2 are technically the same card, I think. I don't know how this works. They're 2001 Topps Reserve one on card, one not.
Yes, and my understanding is that the on-card version is out of 160. Um, and, you know, I like this card a lot, actually. I think the pose is, it's got that classic pool holes, swing, shot, and it has a stadium club kind of feel to it, with most of the photo taking up the card. And the autos that I've seen on this are generally pretty good. So this one, I think, you know, I don't know. I was surprised it didn't get higher.
Yeah. So now let's take a look at the other version. I think hopefully I got this one right with the card that I pulled up, and if not, my apologies. But here, also labeled as Topps Reserve, but this time the auto in a different spot.
Yeah, I am at a loss for this. I'm not. Is that like that? Did they sell it like that? I I did not do my homework on this card, but I've seen this before, and yeah, that's a bit strange.
It would be amusing if this is how Topps did all their autographs, if they just put them above, right, and then save the image. I don't know.
I think collectors everywhere are, sighing with relief that no one's made that decision yet.
Good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end the screen, and we can take a look at a card that you have as well, that gold. I do still have one Pujols rookie card in my collection. Did not make anybody's list. I should have brought it down to show everyone, but that's okay. It's not that exciting. But I own the 01 Bowman Heritage national date release, which is when they were announcing that Bowman Heritage was going to be coming out, and they released 500 copies of 5 cards. There was a set of just 5. It was Pujols, it was McGuire, it was Robbie Alomar, Juan Gonzalez, and I think it was CC Sabathia was the 5th as well. And it's black and white, commemorating an old Bowman card. It's not serial number, but it is print run to 500. So that's the only one that I own, but I like it a lot. So let's see the card that you have.
Well, while I throw this up there, why don't you pull it up on Card Ladder and see if you can see if you can find it. It'd be cool to see it. But all right, I should actually I need to switch out of my blurred background to make this show, I've discovered. All right, here we go. So here it is. This is I guess if you want to call this a grail, this is my grail right here. This is the new cornerstone of my collection. Really happy about this one. These things are extremely condition sensitive, due to the foil front. And this one's a PSE 8, and I just love it. The centering is just, beautiful on it. There's really no blemishes that I can see. I think that the reason it got an 8 might be in part due to the back. But you can see, it's a little, the image is a little bit, it's not as stark as the other retrofractor. And again, that's why some prefer the other one. But for me, this is it. The color, the gold, it is beautiful.
It is a great card. And congrats on owning that card. Yeah, you're right about the back. Typically with these, again, I totally geek out on 2001 Topps Chrome. If you get an 8, if you kind of maybe keep trying to tilt that, if you get an 8 on one of these retrofractors from 2001 Topps Chrome, that's basically like a 9 or a 10, because it's always the backs that are chipped with that cheap first year heritage background. Good.
Cool. You want to throw yours up?
Yeah. Let me pull this up here, and let me so there that is. Right, this is the Bowman Heritage. There's also a normal Bowman Heritage one, which it is that just came in the packs, but this is one that's print run to 500. And what drew me to this card was how young he looks in this. We remember him, getting older. He got the goatee or the beard going on. He got stronger, heavier. He aged. He's a normal human being, right? He aged, and he just got a little bit bigger. And his face aged as all of our faces age. And this one, to me, really captures his youth. Plus, I love the pastiche of the throwback to I think this was a 48 Bowman set is what they were trying to commemorate here. Yeah, I'd really love to pair this with a 48 Bowman Musial, right? I think that'd be a fun pair to put together. So, yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's a great card, and again, off the radar card that would be a great card to go after.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Greg, anything else before we let the people start arguing about their lists?
Yeah, no, I'd love to hear what folks said. Obviously, I only talked to 50 collectors, but I think that this list is a much better list than most of the lists you're going to find out on the internet, just to get a sense of like what the Pujols world is really going after.
For sure. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you agree, if you disagree, we'd love to hear what you thought as well. Greg, thanks for putting this together. This took some work. I know it took some time as well. So really appreciate it. This was fun, and thanks for doing it.
All right. Well, glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.